Hey everyone. I'm going to do this just a little bit different. Instead of going live, I'm going to just do recorded videos for right now in attempts to get everything switched over to YouTube so that you can continually share the videos if you would like, or go back to them so they're not deleted after 30 days. Because if I do live on Facebook, they're deleted after 30 days. But I'll do that, and then I will post the link for my YouTube page, and if you would like, you can go and subscribe, and if not, you're still welcome to see all the videos. Today's title is Redemption. The Bible verse is John 1:17 through 18. The law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, the only God who is at the Father's side. He has made him known. The Old Testament is full of strange things. Stories of a man swallowing fish, a flood that rebooted the earth, a brass section that brought down the walls of a city, just to name a few. And there are plenty more where that crazy came from. Some stories are so outside the norm, they're difficult to imagine. And sometimes it's even more difficult to discern God's purpose behind them, at least at first glance, which is why reading about Jesus is such a gift. So much of what God did in the Old Testament makes sense when we learn about the things that Jesus did and said in the New. Take the fish. God wanted to save the sinful, broken people of Nineveh. I don't know if I'm saying that right, hopefully. But his spokesman didn't want the job. Instead of letting Jonah sail in the opposite direction, God had him thrown off the boat and swallowed by a sea monster that promptly swam back to Nineveh. For 3 days and nights, Jonah was in the belly of the beast, the same amount of time Jesus was in the tomb, once resurrected. Jonah delivered God's message of repentance and redemption, and the Ninevites believed. Nineveh's salvation story was a picture, a foreshadowing of what would take place on the cross. Humanity rebelled against God. God made a miraculous way for righteousness to be restored, and God gave grace to the people who believed. Then there's Noah. God told him to build the biggest boat anyone had ever seen, one so ginormous that it couldn't have been towed from the building site to the dock. Water would have to come to it, and Noah endured relentless mocking from all of God's rejectors who were watching. Until the rain came, flooding the earth and wiping out every living thing not on the boat. Noah's salvation story was a foreshadowing of what would take place on the cross. Humanity rebelled against God. God made a miraculous way for righteousness to be restored, and God gave grace to the 8 people who believed. And let's not forget Jericho, a fortified city that stood between the Israelites and the land God had promised them. God told the Israelites to conquer Jericho by marching around its perimeter walls for 7 days while blowing trumpets. Perhaps the least intimidating of all the horns, but I digress. On the 7th day, God brought the wall of the city crumbling down, killing everyone inside except for the small remnant of believers. Once again, Israel's salvation story was a picture of foreshadowing of what would take place on the cross. Humanity rebelled against God. God made a miraculous way for righteousness to be restored, and God gave grace to those who believed. That 1, 2, 3 pattern can be seen in the majority of the Old Testament stories, but the supernatural bells and whistles sometimes keep us from seeing the heart of the matter. That from Earth's first moment until now, and from now until the end of the world as we know it, God is writing a story of a rescue and redemption. And Jesus, the creator of the world, the one who whispers to the clouds to make them pour out snow, the one who sculpted Mount Everest and dug out the Grand Canyon, the one who mapped out the galaxy and hung every star, wrote himself into that story. He allowed himself in human form to 1, be rebelled against, 2, provide a miraculous way for humanity to be restored, and 3, give grace to all who believe. And because Jesus restored us, showing us who God was and what he was doing, we can learn from the Old Testament, but we no longer have to repeat it. No one has ever seen God, the only God who is at the Father's side. Jesus has made him known. John 1:18. Prayer focus for today. Thank God for his story of redemption, and then ask him to reveal himself even more in all the ways that you're pursuing him. And questions moving forward. What was the point of God's 1, 2, 3 pattern in the Old Testament? What does his sacrifice on the cross reveal to you about God the Father? And how can you live out gratitude for the grace you've already been given for your rebellion? Aren't we thankful for his grace? I know that I am. I know that I've definitely rebelled a lot in my life, against him anyways, and thankfully he's always been there to pick me back up, always been there to meet me where I'm at, and just he's always given me grace, and I am so thankful for that. That's all that I have for today. I hope you all have a blessed evening, and I will be back on here tomorrow. Bye.